Hi, my name's Phil Gardner and welcome to Fun with Boxes. Today we're taking a look at a very small and particularly beautiful looking game called Sea Salt and Paper. The 2 to 4 player card game by Bruno, Cathala and Theo Riviere. This is a small card game, as you can no doubt tell, that's about set collection but with hand management and a little bit of take that thrown in. Light on theme but rich on art, this is a terrific little game you can take with you anywhere, with a small footprint, super simple setup and a wonderful scoring mechanic where you can take the initiative to stop around to score immediately or dare to give your opponents one extra turn to really push your luck. Its incredibly talented designers have between them literally hundreds of games listed on Board Game Geek. Indeed, you may well have a few of their games sat on your very own board game shelves right now. Bruno is of course well known for 7 Wonders, 5 Tribes, Cyclades, Abyss, Mr. Jack and King Domino. And Theo, who is part of the amazing Cathala game design team, is known for games such as Draftosaurus, which I absolutely love, and The Loop, which has been on my to-buy list for a heck of a long time now, and I'm really looking forward to playing that one day. And the game is from publishers Bombyx, who have given us some wonderful games over the years, and some of my very favourite games too. Takinoko and Abyss. Fantastic games. So when I saw Sea Salt and Paper announced from these wonderful game designers and publisher, I was immediately interested and could not wait to get my hands on a copy. But indeed, wait I had to be able to get it here in the UK, that was. So long in fact that I'd forgotten all about it until a recent visit to Rules of Play, our friendly local game store, where I turned around and there was my wife holding a copy of it with a happy grin on her face. Well, there was much excitement and waving of metaphorical flags. Dogs were barking, cats meowing, and a small child dropped an ice cream. It was a joyous moment, but not so much for the small child, with the empty ice cream cone and that sad tear in its eye. That took a bit of a turn there, didn't it? But fear not, we had finally gotten our hands on a copy of Sea Salt and Paper, and the small child's ice cream had been replaced by a copy of TI4 on which it sat, waving its arms and was once again happy. Hurrah! Well, let's take a very quick Fun with Boxes look at what you get inside this little box of delights. Sea Salt and Paper is a wonderful card game and so easy to set up. In fact, you just shuffle all the cards, put the deck on the table, draw 2 cards which form 2 discard piles. And that's it. And it's actually really easy to play. Once the scoring system and actions you can take click, you will not need to look at the rules leaflet, and everything should feel intuitive, making the game a joy to play. Here is a very brief overview of the gameplay, and at this point my wife will groan and say that I always say this and go on to explain most of the game. And I am, if anything, brief. So, with an attempt at briefness, if there is such a word, here we go. On your turn, you must add a card to your hand in one of 2 ways. Either take the top 2 cards from the deck, keep one and put the other back down onto one of the 2 discard piles, or you take just 1 card from the top of either discard pile and add it to your hand. After you have added a card to your hand, you may play duo cards if you have any and trigger their effects. Finally, if you have reached 7 points or more, you can decide to trigger the end of the round. If not, it's the next player's turn. There, how brief was that? My wife will be well pleased. Well done, Phil, I can hear her saying. Well done. But I am sure you're all wondering, what are the duo cards and what are these effects you speak of? And now I hear my wife start to mutter, brief, you said brief. Well, Duo cards are cards that look like these. You can see this one has a boat icon with a dotted outline of another boat. In this example, if you have two boats in your hand, regardless of colour, you can place them in front of you and they will be worth 1 point. And this icon says that their effect is that you take another turn. If you played two fish cards, then you would also get 1 point, and the effect allows you to take the top card of the deck into your hand. And if you play two crab cards, again you get 1 point, and this effect allows you to look through the cards of any discard pile and take any card and put it into your hand, putting the cards back in the same order they were in. And that's duo cards, and my wife will now sigh happily. Well, almost. There is one other duo card, and this is the take that element of the game. My wife groans again. If you get a swimmer card and a shark card, then you can play them both to get 1 point, but you also get to steal a random card from another player and add it to your hand. Nasty sharks. That should give you a good idea on how the duo cards work, but there are several other cards that you can use to score extra points. You do not play these cards in front of you like you do the duo cards, but keep them in your hand. There are collector cards that are simple set collection cards. The more you have in hand, the more points you will score at the end of the round. And there are multiplier cards that will give you extra points dependent on the number of card types you have in your hand. And finally, there are the mermaid cards that give you 1 point per card of the most colour you have. But keep an eye on the mermaid cards, because if you get 4 of them, you immediately win the whole game. Fantastic. So, while you play the game, you will have duo cards played in front of you, scoring points, whilst card combinations in your hand will also be scoring you points. As soon as you have 7 points in total, this includes all of your cards on the table and in your hand, you can choose to trigger the end of the game. And you have 2 choices. You can say stop and end the game immediately, and all players add up their points and score them. Or you can shout last chance, and this allows all other players 1 more turn. Then you count up the points as normal. But this time, if you have the same score or higher than your opponents, then you score your points plus an additional colour bonus. That's 1 point per card colour of your most coloured cards. That's a tricky thing to say. And your opponents only score their colour bonus. But if, however, you score less than your opponents, you will only score your colour bonus, and your opponents get to score their cards as normal. And this really is the icing on the cake with this game. Should you end the game quickly to try and score some quick points, hopefully more than your opponents, or do you risk it and give them 1 extra chance, and if you have the highest score, then you get the additional colour bonus added to your points, and they only get the colour bonus. It's great. We have played this many times, and I always doubt myself. Do I shout stop, or should I shout last chance? Oh, what a conundrum. So, how do you win? Well, it's a race to a certain number of points based on the number of players. First to 40 points in a 2-player game, 35 points in a 3-player game, and 30 points in a 4-player game. And there you have it. I have just briefly actually kind of explained exactly how the game works. Again, I can't help myself, man. I get excited, you see. Sea salt and paper. If you see this game, get it. It's as simple as that. It's a great, tight, small card game that works on so many different levels. It's quick to play and easy to teach. The game is coming with us everywhere we go from now on. Its small footprint means it's easy to play in the pub, should you happen, like us, to often find yourselves in a pub. And it's a great little filler game to keep you entertained if you do not have much time to play a bigger game, for example, or even play between games as a light relief. I really can't recommend it enough. It's a fantastic little game. So that's 2 big Fun with Boxes thumbs up from me. If you have enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and click that old subscribe button. And do not forget that our friendly local game store, Rules of Play, based in Cardiff and Bristol, have a special 10% off online orders discount code for Fun with Boxes viewers. The code is on the screen, and a link to Rules of Play is in the description below. And as always, Thanks for watching and please take care.